Hi, I'm Dallas Downs, and I'm reporting on the age-old dilemma. I chose this case because it was something that it fascinated me more than the rest of the cases, and it was something that I thought could come up in my future. The case starts out with Suzanne Stryker. She was recently hired to audit 60 loan files for 15 different things. With these files, she was taking 80 hours to get through them all, whereas she was supposed to be getting through them in 40 hours, and that was what was budgeted. After getting frustrated with this, she went to her senior accountant and asked how he was finishing all his files. He had more, and they were more complicated, and he was able to finish them in the 40 hours, how he was doing that. His response was that she needed to do hers much faster, and basically more of a skim job, and kind of gave her the impression that skimming and sampling was what he was doing and what she should be doing to be able to get through the files faster. She didn't feel very good about this, and it just didn't sit very well. She knew morally that maybe this wasn't the best thing, so she went to get a second opinion. First she went to Andrew. He was an entrepreneur with some types of accounting background. He said, if he gave you the impression to skim through this stuff and do sampling, then do exactly that. The next person that she went to was Boris. He was still in his undergrad or graduate studies. He was still studying accounting. He said, just do the 40 hours or do the 80 hours of work. Make sure that you get through everything and do it correctly, but just bill for 40 hours. The next person she went to was Kathy. Kathy said, if you're taking 80 hours, then bill for 80 hours and the audit manager will understand. The last person that she went to was Drew. He was in accounting, and he said, go do the 40 hours that is budgeted. After that, go to the audit manager and explain, hey, I got this far, I'm halfway done, would you like me to continue the job, and just explain the circumstances to him. The solution to these problems that the book gives was that Andrew's suggestion is completely wrong. It's unethical to say that you did something when you really didn't. If her job was to audit those 60 loan files for 15 criteria, she needs to do that, not just sample and not just skim. Boris's suggestion could be right, and same with Kathy's. Drew's suggestion could be right, it's not unethical in any way, but you need to be able to have communication with the audit manager. But if you're jumping your boss's head, the senior accountant, then you're not necessarily doing what's right in the company. It depends on how open your audit manager is, and if you're working with him directly, and if he has an open door policy. What I would do in this situation depends on a lot of different things, like the pay. If I'm on salary, then I just get the job done. If I want to keep my job, then I bill for 40 hours. If it's on hourly, that more than doubles the pay that you're going to be receiving, especially if you get overtime. So I'd be billing the whole 80 hours and hope that the audit manager understands. Next thing is whether I like my job. If I want to stick with this company, then yeah, definitely bill for 80 hours or bill for the 40 hours and try to maintain the job. If I have other options to go to other places, that also might play on my decisions on what I would do. If I feel that the audit manager would listen to my cry and help me out and be able to be reasonable and understanding, then I probably would go to him just to explain the circumstances. But once again, if your boss feels like you're jumping his head, or if the audit manager doesn't want you to be going to him directly, then this could hurt your job situation as well. The last thing that I took into consideration was whether the senior accountant, if you felt that he was a little bit sketchy and that the circumstances weren't very good and he was a little unethical, if this reflects on the company and you feel that all management is this way, you might want to look at getting out of the company anyway and updating your resume and trying to find another option. Well, this is my report, and I'm Dallas Downs again. Thank you for listening.